is Liberal MP Dr Fiona Martin and Labor MP Matt Thistlethwaite. Well, Deputy Prime Minister Michael McCormack has reiterated there is still no rush or race to get vaccinated.
Well, it's not a race. It has to be systematic. It has to be rolled out in a way that Australians obviously need to know that they have to get the jab, but we can't have everybody going and getting it at the same time, and that's why there has been a phased-in system.
That is despite an aged care worker being one of the 5 confirmed cases in Victoria today. Given all the hype and bluster and hyperbole flying around, how do we convince people to get vaccinated ASAP? Fiona, surely this is a top priority being thrashed out in party room and on your WhatsApp groups with all your coalition members?
Yeah, look, obviously getting the Australian population vaccinated is a priority for our nation. It is part of a number of approaches to managing COVID, and Australians are doing a great job at managing COVID. Last week we saw record numbers of people being vaccinated. Over 600,000 Australians were vaccinated. On Friday we saw over 120,000 Australians being vaccinated, and overall over 4.2 million Australians have been vaccinated to date. So it's picking up and I am looking forward to more and more Australians being vaccinated as we keep going. Over 99% also of aged care facilities have had vaccinations as well. So we're moving in the right direction. It's picking up, and I know that Australia is a vaccination nation. We know this through our early childhood vaccination program, which works very effectively. So I know that this is going to pick up more and more over time.
Fingers crossed, I hope you're right. Matt, is it time to start considering incentives like the WA Chief Health Officer Andy Robinson said today he's going to start doing to get 90% of the WA population vaccinated by the end of the year? Are incentives like lotto tickets the way to go?
Well, Jenna, unfortunately we shouldn't have to move to incentives. If the government had have got the plan right and had have been able to deliver on their vaccine plan, we wouldn't be in this situation. And the Deputy Prime Minister says it's not a race. Try telling that to the people of Victoria who are in their 4th lockdown. They know it's a race and that Australia's losing it at the moment. I do think that we do need a concerted public education campaign so that we're using television, radio, social media from the government, explaining the benefits of getting vaccinated and encouraging as many people to get the vaccine as quickly as possible. The second point is that there are still problems with the distribution of the vaccine. I got a letter from a group of GPs in my community 2 weeks ago, 16 GPs in this practice. They're only getting 100 vaccines a week, and they've been calling for more and more because they've still got people in the 1A and 1B categories that can't get the vaccine. So we've got these problems that we have to deal with in terms of distribution, and we need a concerted and a wholesome public education campaign.
Yeah, indeed. And that's the thing, right, Fiona, given the Indian variant and now the emerging Vietnam variant, the Melbourne cases in the UK have now 4 approved vaccines available over there. Do you think it's time to get the TGA to look at other options like the Johnson & Johnson one-shot vaccine, which is now available in the UK? Do we have to look at that again, do you think?
Well, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is very similar to AstraZeneca, so I'm not sure that we really need to look into that because right now we have a portfolio, a range of different vaccines available. We have the AstraZeneca for over 50s, we have the Pfizer vaccine, and we also have Moderna. So I'm confident that we've got the right range of vaccinations, and I think that's what we're going to be working with. But, you know, we're taking advice as it comes in. We're guided by the expert medical advice, and I think Australians are motivated to be vaccinated. One of the biggest incentives is the fact that the vaccination is for free. And I think that in itself is very helpful in encouraging Australians to be vaccinated.
Matt, what do you think? Do you think we should revisit or get the TGA to revisit other options so we can get more in the country?
In terms of Johnson & Johnson, I think it's probably too late. You probably needed to be looking at Johnson & Johnson about a year ago. And that's why Labor was saying to the government, you need to be investing in more vaccines. The government keeps saying that the issue isn't supply. They say that they've got enough vaccines, that we've got AZ, we've got Pfizer, you've got Moderna coming online soon. It's the distribution that's the issue, as I mentioned earlier. It's simply not getting out on the ground in a coordinated fashion. And that's where I think you're seeing the state government saying, look, the federal government can't handle this. They've bungled it. We're going to go our own way and set up our own vaccination centres. You've seen that in New South Wales and Victoria. And I just think that the government really needs to knuckle down and get this distribution pattern right, and then couple it with a public education campaign so that people get out and get vaccinated as quickly as possible.
Indeed. Whilst let's park federal politics for just a second, because what's old is new again in New South Wales, with former Labor leader Michael Daly throwing his hat in the ring to replace outgoing opposition leader Jody McKay. Mr Daly said today he wants the party to heal before the 2023 poll.
Please help me heal our party and win government in 2023. There are people in the media today suggesting that we don't have time and we shouldn't have a membership ballot. A membership ballot has never been more important for the members of the Labor Party, because healing has never been more important for us.
Look forward to hearing more from him on Chris Smith this evening. But Matt, what's wrong with the New South Wales chapter of your party? Will Daly or Chris Minns be the white knight for Team Red?
Well, Jody McKay stepped down, and the party now has a process of going through to select a new leader. Michael's thrown his hat in the ring. I was actually with Michael today at a bus rally at Randwick, where we're rallying with thousands of members of our community who are campaigning against cuts that are being made to local bus services and the privatisation of the bus services in the eastern suburbs by the Berejiklian government. And Michael spoke with great passion today about the effect that those cuts are having on the local community. Over the coming days, we'll see if there's another candidate. The party's got a set of rules that are quite democratic, in that if there's more than one candidate, we allow the members of our party to have a say in who they want to lead the party. That gives them the opportunity to hear the various candidates' visions for the party, their policy priorities, and then make a decision. And I think that that's a good thing to improve democracy.
Speaking of polls, I know you must both be feeling pretty aware that there is a federal election looming. Fiona, given there are rumblings of pre-selection dramas for you in your seat of Reid, how are you feeling about your future, given what we saw with the likes of Amanda Stoker being pushed down the Senate ticket in Queensland?
Well, I'm looking forward to continuing my work. My focus is on the people of Reid. We're looking forward to putting my credentials forward and allowing the Liberal Party conference in my electorate. And I'm very confident that I'll be the candidate at the next federal election for Reid.
Is there a lot of work involved? Obviously, you will be the incumbent member. Is there a lot of work involved, making sure that you have the numbers in pre-selection moving forward, or do you think that your work really speaks for itself in the electorate?
I've been working incredibly hard, listening to all of the people in Reid, and get great joy out of talking to constituents and problem solving and working through constituent issues, and working with the local Liberals in my community in Reid. And I think that my credentials will speak for themselves. I'm quite confident that I'll be the candidate at the next federal election.
Matt, how are you feeling about the looming federal election? Are you feeling pretty confident that Albo could get his team over the line?
Yeah, I am. I think Albo's a great leader. He's certainly someone that listens, that's got the right policy priorities. And you look at the issues that we were concentrating on in the federal parliament last week, it was all about making sure that the government gets it right on vaccine rollout and quarantine, and pointing out the problems that we're having at the moment with those issues and the effects that that's having on our economy and the ability of our economy start growing again, creating jobs, getting people into apprenticeships, and dealing with the problems that we've had for many, many years. So I think Albo's doing a great job, and looking forward to him leading us, hopefully to victory at the next election.
Well, guys, all the very best of luck for you, and thank you so very much for joining me on your Sunday evenings. Dr. Fiona Martin and Matt Thistlethwaite, thank you so very much for your time.
Thanks, Jenna.
Thanks, Jenna.